Howdy YouTube folks, I haven't done a video in a while. It's your friendly spirit wolf, aka Hazel, and I thought I would bring you another video because I hadn't in a while. And the reason I hadn't been making any videos recently is because of just no real drive with working now again, because I'm working back at the winery. No real drive with wanting to make videos, and partly because me not feeling I have anything fully noteworthy for a video that I haven't covered before in past videos. So anyways, let's get into it. So like I said, backstory, I'm working back at the winery again, and my boss at the winery actually gave me this, and I thought it would be good to share. I've been told it's a GE Trimline 300 record chain player, and I've been currently trying to work on it. I got it to plug in, and I flicked the switch, but no go, nothing was moving or anything, even when I moved this. And I believe this is technically an automatic changer system, so the minute you flick it on, this thing should automatically just, when you put a record on there and you hit it, it automatically just goes once it senses the record on there, and nothing doing. So I've been messing with this. And a side note that is probably not anything real significant to this, but I thought it was kind of ironic, is that I found this card in there. And oftentimes I find stuff in these. If you work on these enough, you'll find little toys. I found a toy in once, a vintage toy in one once. It was like a little Indian from an Indian and cowboy set from the 50s, and like stuff like this. And for free, I'm gonna say this right now, for free, what do you expect? Either way, it might be a shelf sitting piece, but I wonder if this is an ironic omen. Say maybe I'm being played the fool, the Joker. I don't know. Maybe this record player set could probably no longer, or not be able to be repaired, or would cost way too much to be refurbished than worth. But like I said, at the end of the day, it was given to me by a friend / my boss, but we've kind of become friends. And at the end of the day, it's a nice shelf piece. And the fact that he was able to find this and get it for me, I was really grateful, because, I mean, as a shelf piece by itself, I think that's worth it anyways. Yeah, that's pretty much the summary on this. Oh, and when I'm all said and done, I definitely will have to glue this back on, which I will do anyways, whether it's fixable or not. I will probably glue that back on, just for the sake of gluing it on. I got the turntable little clip, the circlip that holds the turntable on, pulled off, and I tied it up here so I can pull the turntable off if needed doing this. And I highly recommend, if you have social media, which I do, especially Facebook, if you can join up with forums if you're working on stuff like this. I will say that as a tip, because they've helped me decipher that. These are the screws that hold the record changer on, the whole setup. And so that was very helpful. Like I said, well, did I say it? Anyways, I plugged this in, and went to flick it. No go, nothing moved. It sounded like it was powered on, but it was humming. So, and this switch, since I've noticed, is kind of iffy, and it's been like that since I've had it. It's nothing I did. It's like sometimes if you push it, it'll click in, but you really gotta push it good. And like, you don't want to shut off sometimes too, unless you wiggle it real good. It won't flick to the off position. So I'll have to look into that switch. And this RPM selector arm in here underneath the turntable might need some cleaning and degreasing, because I noticed that when you flick it to 33 and 16, that which raises it up on its mechanism, and it's basically just a round rubber disc, that sometimes they'll stick and you'll have to manually push it back. And I don't know if that's because it bumps against the turntable and I did have the turntable off when I was doing that, or if it's just because it's sticking. But when it's in 45 and 78 RPM, the whole mechanism slides down back into its prior position. So that's something I will also have to look into too. But my main thing is to try to get this thing working. I'm guessing there might be some dead capacitors in here. Maybe a dead resistor. I know this is not a tube player, so it doesn't have any tube capacitors, so to speak. It may have one, but nothing like multiple tube capacitors aligned right under these switches. And I'm pretty sure that this one doesn't, period, have any serviceable tubes that you pull out, replace. So I don't have to, per se, worry about that. That's a good and a bad thing to me, because with the tubes, the tube ones are a little easier to work on, versus these can be a little more tricky because they don't have tubes, but they have a million other components inside them that can be a pain testing every little one. But I'm going to say most likely probably some bad resistors. I'm wondering if there's going to be any bumblebees or any black beauties in here, is what I've heard they've been called. At least that's what I've heard another YouTuber call them, and I've seen them before. They're little, like, resistors. Little about maybe this big, and they got 2 wires on the end, and they're black, and they got like a yellow and a red stripe. A yellow stripe on one side and like a red stripe on the other, or a green stripe on the other. And they're mainly black, the whole body, and they call them black beauties, is what I've been told. And then the little yellow ones that they call bumblebees. So, and I think they call the white ones bumblebees as well. So I'm imagining there's going to be some of those in here. So I'm looking forward to pulling that apart. That should be exciting. Not, but you know, if I have to do a complete resistor replacement, and that's my biggest thing, and I can get those parts, then I think this one will be revivable. But we'll wait to see, because who knows? This might require more than I would ever want to put into it to revive it. And like I said, if that's the case, it'll just be a shelf piece. Unless, yeah, probably just be a shelf piece, because I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. I was going to say unless someone came along who wanted it bad enough, but I don't think it, like I said, I don't think I'd ever get rid of it, because it was given to me, and it's still a nice piece to have. So anyways, that pretty much sums up this record player. Look for another video on this. Hopefully, me have gotten it working, and then I can explain to you what I did, the step process. But like I said, some, like the tube capacitor ones, are easier to work on, but and pretty straightforward. But these might be a little trickier, as far as having to just, like, more frustrating, I guess, to check more things. But still, pretty simple to work on, pretty basic. It's usually oftentimes just, to do it right, replacing all the little resistors in there and hooking them back up where they need to go. And if you're lucky, most of the time there aren't any major electrical components that have failed, like any transformers or anything that failed, because then that's when it really starts getting pricey, and it's just probably not worth your time, especially given the condition of the cabinet of this record player, being as dirty as it is, and looks like it had lived in a barn or a shed for the last remainder of its life with the previous owner. So, you know, not expecting a whole lot from this thing. But anyways, I think that's where I'm going to end it. And I hope you guys I hope you YouTubers have an excellent time, whatever it is, wherever you are. Keep your heads up, stay strong, all that kind of jazz. As always, sunshine, unicorns, and rainbows. And I will catch you on the flip side in the next installment of my videos.